guys, welcome back to A Page in the Chapter, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige and today we are doing my August TBR. So this TBR is ever so slightly early in the month, just because it fit the best that way in terms of the uploading schedule and things like that. But I have about 5 books that I'm aiming to get read in the month of August, but I'm thinking there might be a little bit of wiggle room in there. It's going to be a really big reread month in August. I'm just kind of all about the rereads right now, and the new books that I'm wanting to read are like autumnal fantasy books, which I don't want to get started on yet, and I don't want to keep buying new summery romances just for the sake of it, so we're just going to do a little bit of rereading in the month of August. But all in all, I'm very excited to get started on a new month. I feel like my reading has really been coming along lately, and I'm just excited to really hopefully keep up that momentum and just kind of keep going. Let me know in the comment section what some of the books on your August TBR are, so I can have some ideas and see what everyone else is reading in August. And if you like TBRs and wrap-ups, then do feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below to stay tuned for future content. I upload a TBR and a wrap-up once a month, and I upload videos every Wednesday and Friday, so there is no shortage of bookish content here for you to enjoy. I also do have all of my content organised into playlists, so you can find exactly what type of content you want to watch all in one place, but I won't give you the whole spiel. But yeah, if you could check out some of my other videos, that would be so greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's get into the books I want to read in August. So the very first book that I would like to read in the month of August, I will actually be starting right now in July. I just feel like reading it right now, but I definitely don't think I'll be getting it finished by the time we come around to August, so I'm just going to put it on this TBR video. And that is The Subtle Knife by Phillip Pullman. This is volume 2 of the His Dark Materials series, and one of the books that I had on my end of year TBR challenge that I set myself. I figured we will start out strong, we will get a move on with this series. If I keep waiting for like November, December time, there is always the risk that I will not read it. So I will save volume 3 for November, December time, but try and get a little bit ahead on the reading challenge whilst I can, given I am going to be going back to uni as of September, which like when we're in August will be a month away. So I feel like the reading might take a bit of a back seat maybe, so we'll just get a little bit ahead. So the His Dark Materials trilogy follows our main character Lyra, and she is led on an adventure to the North Pole to rescue a horde of children who are being snatched from the streets of Oxford, and she uncovers a whole kind of, what is it called? Anyway, she uncovers a whole thing, and it's like a middle grade fantasy series. It's a big classic. It has a BBC show. It also has The Golden Compass, which I believe is a movie based on it, but I don't think anyone thinks highly of that movie. But yeah, I'm kind of excited and keen to kind of dip back into this world. This follows our main character Will, and he's 12 and he's killed a man, so he's on the run. And the escape takes him far beyond his own world to the eerie disquiet of a deserted city and to the strange savage girl called Lyra. So I'm very excited to just get back into this, and I will let you know how I'm finding it. So then the next books on this TBR that I have to talk to you about all are linked, and I have not been very quiet about the fact that I have been doing this. I've known that I've been doing this for a good couple months though, but I guess this is technically like an official announcement. So in the month of August I will officially be doing a Taylor Jenkins Reid-along, and I will be rereading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn, Hugo, Daisy Jones and the Six, and then Malibu Rising, and then of course Carrie Soto is Back comes out in August, so when that book is hopefully delivered to my door on time, come on Waterstones, I can add that as like the 4th book in this kind of linked series. So it's not all one series. The books aren't linked in any way other than the fact that this one is like 60s, this one is set in the 70s, this one is set in the 80s, and Carrie Soto's Back will be set in the 90s. So they're kind of linked through decades, but they also have little cameos from each other in them, but they're not a strict series. So I'll be rereading those 3 and then reading Carrie Soto is Back for the first time. But then I will also be reading Maybe in Another Life for the first time by Taylor Jenkins Reid as well, potentially, if I have the time. I don't see it being a problem. Every Taylor Jenkins Reid book that I've picked up I've read in one sitting, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to blast through these books, hopefully read maybe in Another Life, and then definitely read Carrie Soto is Back. It is one of my most anticipated, if not the most anticipated book of the year, and I have a signed first edition on its way to my door, hopefully sometime in the next few weeks, and I am ecstatic about it. So this isn't really like an official read along in the sense of I don't like merch or anything, like I haven't really set it up. I've just known that I will be doing a Taylor Jenkins read-along in August, and if you guys would like to join, then let me know. Maybe we can do some live shows where we can like all read together. That could be kind of fun. And yeah, there's no real structure or intensity to this. It's just something that I will be doing. So let me know if you'll like be joining in, or if you're interested, or even if you just want to read like Carrie Soto is Back together. I don't know. Give me a heads up and we can stay in contact somehow throughout the Taylor Jenkins read-along. And then there are another 2 books on my TBR for me to share with you, but these are kind of like hopefuls. Whilst I can read Taylor Jenkins Reid books very quickly, I do have 5 of them on my TBR, so I don't want to just assume that I'll be able to read twice as much as I can normally read in a month, you know? It might not work that way, so I do have 2 hopefuls that if everything goes to plan, I should be able to read 8 books, but if not, then I'm happy with like the 6 that I've already spoken to you about. So the first one is Twisted Hate by Ana Huang. This is the 3rd book in the Twisted series, and this follows Josh and Jules. I have been a little nervous about this one in particular. I just haven't felt any particular way towards these characters. I've had no real interest from the moment I opened Twisted Love. I knew that this was going to be like an enemies to lovers, brother's best friend that was going to come up in a later book. Like on the pages of Twisted Love you can kind of see this happening. So for that reason I've been a little bit, it's going to be really predictable. But I absolutely adored Twisted Games, and I have the book. It'll be a really fun, easy romance for me to read, so why not? So this is an enemies to lovers, no strings attached, and I have just been reading so many of those lately. I mean, I read the 3rd off-campus book, which was the same situation. I read Ugly Love, which was the same situation, and so I'll be intrigued to see how Ana handles it when I've read quite a few other books with that same premise. This literally in the past like week, so we'll see how that goes. And hopefully I get to this. Again, I should be able to read it pretty fast, but kind of a big book for a romance. And then the final book that will be on my August TBR is Take Me Home Tonight by Morgan Matson. This is my last Morgan Matson book left to read. Again, I'm quite nervous about this one. I've been putting it off because it just doesn't, like the plot line just doesn't call to me or tempt me in any way. But I think I just have to believe in Morgan Matson at this point. She's never let me down before. I should just go into this book and enjoy it. So this follows Kat and Stevie, and they are best friends, and they have snuck away to New York City with no phones to have like one epic night. But when they get separated from each other and lose each other, it leads them on this like nighttime adventure of trying to find each other, and I'm assuming confronting some things about themselves through meeting new people and things like that. It gives me Since You've Been Gone vibes, but I don't know, I'm really nervous about it. I was hoping that Morgan Matson's newest book would be something more similar to Save the Date. I don't know, we'll just see. I do think Morgan Matson writes friendship and family elements like 100 times better than she writes romances, so there is the potential for me to love this book, but it just doesn't like call out to me. I've been really nervous of young adult contemporaries lately, and I think that's also why I'm a bit nervous to read this book. But if I don't like it, I can always just reread Save the Date. Like, I have a whole host of other Morgan Matson books here, so there'll be no shortage if I don't like this, so it's worth just giving it a try when I would consider her to be one of my favourite authors. So what could go wrong? Famous last words, really, isn't it? And so here we have my August TBR in all its glory, as well as maybe in Another Life, which I have left in the other room. I think this is quite a big TBR for me. I've been trying to really take the pressure off with my TBRs lately and just wing it a little bit and things like that, but I'm really excited by everything on here, and obviously the Taylor Jenkins Reid-along has been an idea that I've had for quite a long time. I do think that I tend to get through her books very, very quickly and just read them in one sitting, so if I tackle one for like every one of my days off, then it shouldn't take me very long at all to get them read. So hopefully I will be able to achieve my goals and read all of these. Maybe this will be like quite genuinely the first TBR that I have read every single book on it, because I don't normally stick to my TBRs, and that is okay. They're completely arbitrary. You don't have to stick to them if you change your mind halfway through the month. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see. Hopefully I at least attempt to read all of the books on this list. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope that you have enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments the books on your TBR, if you have read any of these, what you thought of them, so on and so forth. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more of this face, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for content every Wednesday and Friday. You can also check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Page and Chapter to see what I'm reading and how I'm reviewing it in real time, so you don't have to wait for the monthly TBRs and wrap-ups if you don't want to. And so without further ado, I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, you're enjoying everything that you are reading, and there are no reading slumps in your future. And I will see you for my next video. Bye guys.